I keep getting contracts to clean N64s. It's very obvious that this N64 has been loved for many, many years. When the customer handed me this, they reminisced about all the memories that they had with it and all the time they spent with their family playing it. I like seeing consoles like this because it just shows that they were well played and enjoyed throughout the years. So let's give it some TLC. The first step to opening up an N64 is to remove the 6 screws on the bottom. They require a 4.5mm game bit, which you can find online. I've never had one of these things stuck down before, and this is kind of when I realized that this clean was going to be a little bit different than my other ones. Holy smokes. And as you can see, there was something sticky that was holding this thing together. At some point over the last 20 years, it looks like someone spilt a little bit of pop into this. It didn't fry it, it just made it really, really sticky. And look at the switch, it's super hairy. Gugh. And to top it all off, it looks like a spider made a home in this at one point in time. These are just standard Phillips head screws and come out without any issue. I took a quick look at the motherboard and everything looks fine. That pop missed everything vital, thankfully. The bottom of the case was full of dirt, Cheetos, dust, and some more spider webs. The bottom of the board looked great, however. There's no audio during the disassembly of the N64 controllers. That's because I did this during a live stream on TikTok, and basically I was just conversing with the chat, and none of it would really make sense in this kind of context. So I just kind of took it out, and I guess I'll talk through it. Basically, all you need is a Phillips head screwdriver, and they come right apart. The customer asked me to take a look at his analog sticks, as they were both pretty floppy. So I took them apart, and I knocked out all this dust. This happens to every single N64 controller. Basically, it's just plastic on plastic that grinds down over years and builds up inside this container. And because of this wear, the analog will start to droop over a few years. So I completely disassembled it and did my best to clean it with isopropyl alcohol and a toothbrush. I also took more apart and got a Q-tip in there. I offered to replace them for the customer, however, they said they don't play that often and it wasn't too important, so I'm going to try to fix it for them anyhow. The remainder of the N64 was cleaned with soap and water, and that took care of all the cola and all the spider webs and bugs, etc. I used 99% isopropyl alcohol and a toothbrush to really try to clean up all this cola. It's been sitting for years and it was quite difficult to get off. I eventually just had to get my tweezers and just kind of scrape off the remainder of it. The customer had also mentioned that some games just won't load. I'm assuming that a little bit of cola got in here as well, so I cleaned that up. I'm assuming this will fix it for them. If not, they could just give it back to me and I'll take a second look at it. Using some compressed air and then 99% isopropyl alcohol, I cleaned up the switch and man, does that ever look better. It's fairly common to find hair and other particles around the switch as it's a high moving area and it's usually exposed to the dirt and grit that's found on people's hands. I also cleaned the reset button just to be safe. Once the N64 was complete, I moved over to the controllers and I saw that there was just a little bit of slime here on one controller's motherboard, so I'm going to clean that up with 99% isopropyl alcohol and a Q-tip. While doing one of my streams, somebody suggested doing the tape repair for the analog sticks. I've never heard of this and I wasn't too hopeful, but I decided I'd try it out anyhow. How this works is that the tape's going to fill the gap that's been basically worn down over the last few years. I'm going to look into 3D printing or buying replacement parts for the next one, but we'll see how this works in the meantime. And surprisingly enough, it actually worked. It's not really flopping around anymore and it's going back to its original position. However, it's kind of stiff and needs to be worked in, so we'll check that out after. Each of these buttons have individual grooves that inhibit you from putting it in the wrong spot, so it makes it fairly easy. And it was at this moment that I realized I had messed up. So I had to take the entire board back off and put them in. And there we go, it's all cleaned up. There's some permanent stains that I can't fix, but there's no more hair and dirt. And then I just realized here that I had made another mistake. So I took off the entire motherboard again and put this back in. I found that Scratch Doctor here gets out any imperfections and it leaves a nice polish. I use a show polish just to do up the front emblem here and make it really shiny. Before the big reveal, I just wanted to ask everybody a quick question. This was the first video I made with YouTube in mind, so I tried a few different editing methods. I did a little bit of voiceover, I did a little bit of ASMR, I tried some regular speed stuff, and I tried fast forwarding a little bit. Let me know in the comments what you think works best, and if you think I should add something, let me know, like music, maybe some more detail, maybe some more facts about the system, or just some jokes, who knows. Anyways, thanks for watching.